theory, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Image by.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so let's get into it. Everyone, please get the lights up, and if you have not been receiving your notifications, please double check to make sure you're still subscribed. You know how they do out here in these screw-tube streets. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, DJ The Truth is here. Queen Sam, Jeff ATL, Queen Amona Huey, Nessa G, That Crazy Beach Aries, Courtney J, Nessie X is here, Nita's and Mike's World, Miss Peaches, RG Titan, G from the Land, Jay Parrish, Claudette. All right, Buckhorse DC, I see you. Deronda, Kimberly Francis here, Priscilla, Antoinette. Okay, so let's get into it, beloveds. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Thank you in advance. All right, so more drama going on with Kendrick and Drake. And so now they're saying that UMG, now this is the word on the street. All right, they're saying that UMG wants Kendrick to back off. And so let's talk about that. Because they've also come out and said that this is not true, okay? UMG has said that this is not true. TMZ, the Daily Mail, all these other publications are saying that this is not true. So let's get into it. Because if they're lying, I want to know why. Okay? If they're lying, I want to know why. Because to me, it does seem like that would be true. That seems like it would make perfect sense. Because I noticed something yesterday. Now, and I meant to bring this to you all's attention. Yesterday, when I came on the live, it came to my attention when I was reading the information about the shooting that happened near Drake's house, as opposed to the one that happened at the Weeknd's manager's house. Okay, where the security guard was injured. Did you all notice that they specifically said? I want you all to pay attention. Now, in the case of the Weeknd's security guard being shot, the police said, according to the reports that I was reading, that this didn't have anything to do with Drake's beef. They say that the Weeknd's manager, Amir, or they call him Cash, right? They said Cash, even though he was mentioned in Drake's recent diss called Push-Ups, they said this had nothing to do with that. We think it was just a home invasion or robbery gone wrong. So we don't think it had anything to do with that whatsoever. So they made sure to say that that incident had absolutely nothing to do with Drake's beef, with the diss, and the fact that the manager was mentioned in it. I want y'all to pay attention because they didn't say that about Kendrick. They didn't say that about Kendrick because to me, they're trying to make it look as though Kendrick had something to do with it. Okay? That seems like the narrative they're trying to paint. All right, so please pay attention. Hey, Natural, Raw Wheel in the house. Okay, and so with that all being said, all sounds real crazy. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some of the TikTok videos, a couple of TikTok videos that people did where they're talking about this meeting. And they say that this information came from a blind item. Now, those of you who've been following me, you know that I don't like to go by blind items. To me, somebody can make up something, say anything or whatever, put it out there on the internet and everybody starts saying it or whatever. I don't like doing that because that's how you can potentially get misinformation. And I don't know if the information is true or not, so I didn't do anything about it. I didn't do any video or anything about it. But I will let you see it for yourself so you can see what people are saying. Okay? And then I'll just show my receipts. Like up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go.
I don't know how true this is. I'm still waiting on more valid evidence to come forward. But how do you lose a rap beef so bad, the whole public isn't believing you, except for dedicated Drake fans, that you have your record label, Universal Music Group, telling both parties and also the Weeknd's party to cut the beef, to stop it, and to put up a public statement on uh, for Kendrick Lamar to put up a public statement saying that Drake is not a PDF file. Just take a look at this. And assuming all this is true, it doesn't sound like Universal Music Group is telling Drake's party to make a statement about the things he's saying about Kendrick, about his family. This could really explain why we haven't seen a response from Kendrick yet. Also, the thing is, if it's true that Drake is not a PDF file, then why doesn't Drake sue Kendrick Lamar for defamation of character? It's really suspicious, right? It's the corporation that wants Kendrick to make a public statement instead of suing him. I guess we have to wait and see what happens.
All right. That's the first video. Let's go to another one. Likes up, everyone. Excuse me. Likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. We're going to get to the bottom of it. All right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get to the bottom of it. All right. So here we go. Okay. Here we go, beloveds.
So it appears now that UMG, also known as Universal Music Group, is attempting to step in and squash the beef between Kendrick and Drake. They're doing this because Drake is losing streams to Kendrick Lamar because of all of the allegations that have come out against them, and Drake is one of the most popular clients that UMG has signed. So they sat down with Drake and told him, you're going to address the allegations and then you're going to publicly back out of the beef. And then he did that with The Heart Part 6. They then sat down with Kendrick and told him, you have to apologize to Drake publicly, tell everybody you were lying about the allegations, and then you have to back out of the beef. And Kendrick so far has declined to do any of this because he shouldn't have to apologize for what he said, and he doesn't need to say that he was lying because he isn't. Which also means that there is more music that Kendrick Lamar has at the ready to launch at Drake, addressing more of these allegations and saying more, but he can't release it. So either he has to release it under a new label, or he has to release it under a new name, or somehow it has to get leaked, or he has to pass it off to somebody else so that they can publish it on his behalf. There are a lot of options for Kendrick in this situation, but none of them are backing down. Because if we know Kendrick, he is very much fuck the industry and they mamas if you listen to Not Like Us. But it's interesting because nobody has been sued yet. There have been no lawsuits filed. This is literally UMG just stepping in to say, you are losing us money, Kendrick. Cut that shit out. They're not stepping in on Drake's behalf because what Kendrick is saying is wrong. They're stepping in because they're losing money, which, if anything, screams louder than anything else that has happened in this beef. Kendrick has a lot of options in this situation, but clearly one of the ones that he refuses to take and will not take at the end of the day is backing out and taking UMG's deal because he doesn't care about the money or the streams. He cares about the truth.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know how my mic got turned off. I'm just sitting here just giving all the info. So now I got to start over. Okay, my mistake. Okay, so with that all being said, what I was saying is that Drake and Kendrick, they're both under UMG. Drake is signed to UMG. Kendrick is signed to Interscope. But Interscope is under the same umbrella as UMG because UMG owns them. Okay, now both of their music has been distributed by Republic Records as well, which is another division of Universal Music Group. Okay, so Drake's OVO music, his stuff from OVO is under the distribution of Republic Records, and Kendrick's first serious diss like that, or his major diss like that, also was released by Republic Records. So what I'm saying is that UMG is making money off of both of their streams. Okay, they're making money off of both of them because think about it. Everybody has been streaming both of their diss songs because we're reporting on it and because we want to hear what both of them have to say. So they're not really losing money in streams at this point. Not to say that they couldn't lose money in streams if Drake's career is ruined, which is where it was headed or where it is headed. Okay, because all of these allegations that are being made in the music. But the thing is, notice how rather than coming out and denying the allegations, Drake just wanted to bow out. I mean, he didn't come out and say that all that stuff was lies that Kendrick was saying about him. He never said that. He didn't deny it. He just tried to say the same thing of Kendrick and tried to bring up what happened to Kendrick as a kid. But he didn't come out and deny the allegations. So that just makes it all look worse. And not to mention, I'm sure that he knows that we have all these receipts of things online, okay, that make it more plausible for these things to be true. All right, so with that all being said, Re-Educated Soul said that's the way they do it. Fund and eat off both sides. Shaking my head. Exactly. So at the end of the day, let me go to this video interview that Kendrick did. Okay, and then we're going to get into some more of this information that I got. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, this is an interview with Kendrick. I'm going to put my overlay on this so I don't have any problems with ScrewTube. Don't forget to hit the like button, beloveds. Thank you in advance.
I got to. I didn't come on. I'm so passionate about hip hop, man. Like, I don't know what era everybody else come from, but when I listened, man, like, we played house parties, bro, every night. Like, I love it to a point I can't even describe it, you know? And when I heard these artists say they're the best coming up, I said, I'm not doing it to have a good song or one good rap or a good hook or a good bridge. I want to keep doing it every time, period. And to do it every time, you have to challenge yourself and you have to confirm to yourself, not anybody else, confirm to yourself that you're the best, period. No one can take that away from me, period. And that's my drive and that's my hunger I will always have. And at this point right now, the years and the time and the effort and the knowledge and the history, you know, I've done on the culture and the game I've gotten from, you know, those before me and the respect I have for them. I want to hold myself high on that same pedestal 10, 15 years from now. I want to hold myself high on that same pedestal 10, 15 years from now. What are we doing it for?
Right.
This is culture. This is not something you just play with, you know, get some few dollars and get out. You know, people live their lives to this music, period. You know, it's my partners in the hood right now that they listen to rap every day because it's the only thing that can relate to their stories and their tribulations. They live and breathe it. You can't play with this, and you have to take in consideration what you write down on that paper. And if you're not doing it to say the most impactful or doing it to be the best you can be for the listener to live their daily lives, then what are we doing here?
You are the greatest rapper alive.
I got to.
Greatest rapper alive. That's what he said. Okay, so with that all been said, Fred said the GOATs. I agree. Okay, so now let's talk about them denying the allegations about them supposedly trying to step in and intervene. Okay, now they say a screenshot of a supposed blind item went viral on Twitter today, May the 7th, alleging that Universal Music Group had reached out to Lamar and his PG Lane brand, as well as The Weeknd, asking them to end the feud and to walk back comments calling Drake a PDF file. All right, now the supposed blind item noted that Drake, Nike, and other parties involved were losing money, okay, because Drake was losing the beef. However, TMZ has said that there is no truth to the blind item and that the claims are entirely unfounded. Well, here's the thing. I don't believe TMZ. I don't believe them. I'm not going to say they're lying because I don't know if they're lying or not. I'm just saying that I don't believe what they say in many cases, because in many cases, in my opinion, TMZ says things that the people that they're in cahoots with want them to say. That's my opinion. Now, TMZ reported that sources close to the matter, who evidently are knowledgeable of how labels work, had not gotten involved and likely wouldn't get involved with matters like this. But given recent events, it seems as though continuing the feud would be in poor taste. Yeah, and that's the thing. I want you all to pay attention. That's the thing. Because the incident that happened with the shooting near Drake's house, yeah, they would be able to say that's in poor taste. That would be a good way to end the beef. That's why I told you all yesterday that I think Drake knows exactly who did that shooting. I think he knows exactly who did that shooting. I'm sorry. I think Drake is Jussie Smollett. And that's my opinion. I told you all he's a whole Karen, but I digress. And so goes on to say that Ryan Gosling's career evolution. Hold on. What is this? I think I clicked onto the wrong thing. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So it says, but given recent events, it seems like to continue will be in poor taste. Okay, now with that all being said, here's what they had to say. UMG denies intervening in Drake and Kendrick Lamar battle. Never has a rap battle been saddled with so many conspiracy theories. Drake and Kendrick Lamar have not only had to contend with fake songs, but they've spread information about the other person without providing concrete evidence. The spree continued on May 7th. Drake's record label, UMG, was accused of stepping in and putting an end to the battle because the rapper was apparently losing. Now, a document surfaced online, so they go on to say the same thing. Now, basically, they say UMG say they have no plans to interfere. Okay? So they have no plans to interfere. They say Kendrick and Drake's beef is between them and completely separate from the business side of things. And UMG doesn't think it's their place to step in either way. It's easy to see why UMG is staying clear. The label is reaping the benefits of the battle in the form of historic streaming numbers. See, that's what I was telling you guys. That's what I was telling you all. People talking about they're losing streams. No, they're not. That's stupid. Okay, how are they losing streams? And I'm not saying that they couldn't potentially start losing streams in the beginning or later on, because if Drake's career is ruined, of course. But at this point, everybody is streaming both parties because everybody, first of all, they both have millions of fans, but also because everybody's caught up in the beat. And we want to hear the next songs that they put out. So with that all being said, they said they have historic streaming numbers, and I believe it. So Drake and Kendrick Lamar will draw over 250 million streams in the United States this week alone. This means that the handful of releases between them will make up a staggering 20% of all streams on the Billboard Hot 100. Okay, Drake, UMG's artist, managed to land a top 20 single with Push-Ups. Now, the music video for this follow-up diss, Family Matters, trended number 1 on YouTube. It's since racked up an impressive 17 million views. Okay, now, if anything, UMG would benefit from the battle continuing to unfold. Drake had another diss prep to drop on May the 7th, according to DJ Academics, but a shooting outside of his home led to a delay. So with that all being said, I told you all they're not losing money yet, okay? So I don't know about that blind item, but what I do know is this. Both of them are benefiting the same company because both of them are working for the same company, no matter how we slice it, okay, at the end of the day. But if push comes to shove, they would definitely want those rumors about the P-File stuff. They would want that squashed. That's not a good look. And Drake has endorsements. Well, that wouldn't be good for his endorsements, okay, at the end of the day. That would absolutely not be good for his endorsements. But it's good for UMG right now, right in this minute. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, here's the thing, though. Let's talk about this new licensing deal that UMG has with TikTok. And guess who's on it? Guess whose music's going back on TikTok so fast? Kendrick and Drake. All right? So what do y'all have to say about that? Because this is benefiting them to a degree. Like I said, they're getting all these historic streaming numbers, and also it's giving them the ability excuse me, to negotiate a better deal with TikTok. So let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on, beloveds. I have a lot of receipts. Hold on, give me just a second. Okay, here it is. Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and Eminem, and more back on TikTok as UMG settles. Now, I know y'all don't think this is a coincidence, because here's the thing. I reported to you all about 3 months ago how they removed all of the music, UMG's music, their artists removed all of their music off of TikTok because they had a discrepancy, okay? And it was basically financial discrepancy. So with that all being said, now it's back on there. Y'all don't think that this has something to do with that beef? Okay, I can assure you it does. And it specifically, let me just show you this. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. It specifically says Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. So it definitely has something to do with it. Y'all see that? Okay, please pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's talk about it, because I put 2 and 2 together and get 4 all the time. Okay, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and more returning to TikTok as UMG dispute comes to an end. Okay, so it goes on to say that Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem are among the countless music industry titans who have had their catalogs restored on TikTok after Universal Music Group parted ways with a social media platform earlier this year. Now, on Wednesday, both companies announced a multi-dimensional licensing agreement that will once again make UMG's entire discography available on the platform following a 3-month dispute. They say this new chapter in our relationship with TikTok focuses on the value of music, the primacy of human artistry, and the welfare of the creative community. Okay, this is what the Music Corporation's chairman and chief executive officer, Lucian Grange, said. Lucian Grange is pulling all the strings. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. This is what Lucian Grange said about the reconciliation. Okay, he says, we look forward to collaborating with the team at TikTok to further the interests of our artists and songwriters and drive innovation and fan engagement while advancing social music monetization. Now, TikTok CEO Shao Chu said that music is an integral part of the TikTok ecosystem, and we're pleased to have found a path forward with Universal Music Group. We're committed to working together to drive value, discovery, and promotion for all of UMG's amazing artists and songwriters and deepen their ability to grow, connect, and engage with the TikTok community. Now, the joint statement also addressed the rise of artificial intelligence in music. TikTok and UMG will work together to ensure AI development across the music industry will protect human artistry and the economics that flow to those artists and songwriters. TikTok is also committed to working with UMG to remove unauthorized AI-generated music from the platform, as well as tools to improve artist and songwriter attribution. Now, the two companies failed to agree on a new deal relating to artist compensation and AI back in January, which in turn prevented a number of musicians from having their music on the social media outlet. UMG alleged that the social media platform accounts for only about 1% of their total revenue, which they said was evidence of how little TikTok compensates artists and songwriters despite its massive and growing user base, rapidly rising advertising revenue as well, and increasing reliance on music-based content. Now, they also had accused the outlet of trying to intimidate them by selectively removing the music of certain of their developing artists, but keeping songs from better-known ones. So additionally, the letter says that TikTok's tactics are obvious. Use its platform power to hurt vulnerable artists and try to intimidate us into conceding to a bad deal that undervalues music and shortchanges artists and songwriters as well as the fans. Now, TikTok replied with a furious statement of their own that read, "It is sad and disappointing that Universal Music Group has put their own greed above the interest of their artists and songwriters. Despite Universal's false narrative and rhetoric, the fact is they have chosen to walk away from the powerful support of a platform with well over 1 billion users that serves as a free promotional and discovery vehicle for their talent." Okay, and so with that all being said, TikTok has been able to reach artists' first agreements with every other label and publisher. Clearly, Universal's self-serving actions, because it was self-serving, are not in the best interest of artists, songwriters, and fans. Now, Universal Music Group are one of the biggest record companies in the world, with several major imprints such as Interscope, Republic, and Def Jam all under their umbrella. Okay, hence the fallout affected numerous A-list artists, including Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, The Weeknd, and Post Malone. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention because this is all benefiting them. This is working in their favor. This is working in their favor, so you have to be paying attention, okay, at the end of the day. T of y'all said they pull the strings. We're puppets. Yes, they're pulling the strings because here's the thing. You think they had a problem with the beef when it started? They didn't have a problem with the beef when it started because they planned this all out. I told you all, do you all remember in the beginning when I first talked about the beef? I said, how do we know that this isn't just so they can, just get publicity or something? Because sometimes that's what it's for. Now, I'm not saying that's what it was, but I do believe that Lucian Grange and the people at UMG that work alongside him, I think that when the beef started, they didn't mind. They were like, okay, good. Look at all of the streams we're getting. This is helping us. Now we can go back to the table with TikTok and we can renegotiate and get a new and a better licensing deal where we're getting more money and they're giving us more of our demands. That's what they did. But what happened was, in the midst of all of that, everything that they wanted to happen, then these accusations came out and then people went digging. And then when people went digging, we started finding bones. And so that's when it all went bad, because that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, nobody was supposed to bring up PD files on Drake. Nobody was supposed to go that hard. Just talking trash about each other and who's the best and who is and all that. That's one thing. But when it starts going to the point where they're bringing up allegations on Drake and then Drake really can't dispute these things because there's too many receipts all over the internet that make them seem like they are likely, there's some truth to it. So now what do? You need somebody to stop talking. And if they're going to keep talking, you can't say that. You can't say those things. And I find it interesting that if the blind item is true, which I don't know, but if it were true and they did want Kendrick to apologize or come out in public and say that those things are not true about Drake, well, that blind item doesn't say anything about them telling Drake to come back and apologize to Kendrick. And like I said, I noticed it yesterday that they were specifically, very specific to say that the shooting at the weekend or of the Weeknd's bodyguard had nothing to do with Drake's diss song, Push-Ups. Okay, so they emphasized that, but they didn't say that about Kendrick and the Drake situation. Okay, so please pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. T of y'all says, now TT is suing the government to stay open. They weren't before. It all had to fall in place. Streaming had slowed. Okay, so everyone please get those likes up. Queen Sam said, if the Queen or Lovely T doesn't report it, I don't believe it. Great reporting, Queens. Thank you, beloved. Okay, thank you. Now, so with that all being said, let's talk about Lucian Grange's son. Because Lucian Grange has a son by the name of Elliot, and he wants to be the one that's pulling the strings. His father's been doing it for decades, but now he wants to come out of the shadows. Okay, and so that's another thing. You see, this beef is helping him to get where he wants to be. Okay, please pay attention. So like I said, this whole thing was just fine when everybody was getting what they wanted. The streaming was giving them, they were getting many more streams. It enabled them to sit down with TikTok, and it allowed Lucian or Elliot Grange, Lucian's son, to come out of his father's shadows, because now he wants to take over. Now, this is the same man who got Ice Spice to sit down and come to an agreement with him. And I don't really care for Ice Spice's music, but she is very popular these days. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Elliot Grange ready to step out of his father's shadow. Okay. So Grange is a 29-year-old. Now, last summer, he convinced the hottest rapper in the world to go into business with him. And that rapper was Ice Spice. I don't know if she was the hottest rapper in the world. He says, we spoke to her very honestly and said, listen, we see what you're doing here, and we would like to pour gas on this flame. Okay, this is what he said when he had dinner with Spice. They said that song she had called Munch, Feeling You. Okay, the song's viral success had drawn interest from bigger, more established record companies, according to Grange, including Interscope, Columbia, and Republic, as well as Drake's OVO Sound. He said, but I felt as though it wouldn't have been as cool for her at the time to sign to a huge major label. Now, in Grange's view, a major is a conveyor belt with 100 other priorities at any given moment. It's slow to react and saddled with mediocre at best product management departments, as he puts it. Okay, and so basically what distinguishes Grange's critique of the major label system is that it's coming from inside his house. Because Grange's father is Universal Music Group chairman and chief executive Lucian Grange, whose role is leading the world's largest record company and has put him atop of Billboard's annual Power Top 100 list, okay, at least 7 times. So in 2021, Lucian Grange steered UMG, whose slate of talent includes Taylor Swift, The Weeknd, Billie Eilish, Rihanna, Morgan Wallen, Lady Gaga, Blackpink, and the Beatles, etc., toward becoming a publicly traded company. Last month, after reporting 2022 revenues of more than $10 billion, the firm announced that it had extended the 63-year-old CEO's contract to 2018 with a one-time transition equity award of $100 million. And this is the kind of money Elliot wants to be making himself. Now, Grange acknowledges that majors, UMG, Sony Music Entertainment, and Warner Music Group, each with a variety of subsidiaries, have inviolably deep pockets to fund their acts' endeavors, saying that so essentially they're a bank. Okay, he says that they're basically a bank, but other than an upfront check and costs covered, I don't think an artist wants to sign a major anymore unless they want to be on the same roster as their icons, which is still a huge pool. Okay, I'm going to skip past some of this. Now, he sat down for a meeting. He sat down for a meeting, and he basically said, you know, he was telling them his plans on moving forward with the company and telling them things that he wanted to do, some of the things that he wanted to change. He basically told them that these big labels, they're crumbling, they're falling apart. A lot of the things that they used to do to get talent and all of that, they're not doing it right anymore, and things have to change. Now, when he sat down for this meeting, there was a woman by the name of Michelle Jubileer. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Now, he didn't mention anything about her, and she's a very intricate, had a very intricate role at the time. So one dinner guest that Grange doesn't mention in recounting that evening at Nobu is Michelle Jubileer, now the chair and CEO of UMG's Capitol Music Group, which provides distribution services to Grange's label and teamed directly with 10K to sign Ice Spice. Okay, so she was the one that helped them get the deal, get Ice Spice to sign the deal. Now, he didn't say that Capitol was at the dinner. Now, this is what Michelle Jubileer says when she finds out. She says he didn't say that Capitol was at the dinner. And she asked this with a laugh. She said, that's effing amazing. Because she's wondering, why didn't he mention that they were there, that Capitol was there? Okay, so fast forward. I'm going to skip past some of this. Goes on to say, it's a very Elliott thing to do. This is what his father said. Says, it's a very Elliott thing to do. This is what Lucian Grange wrote in an email responding to his son's take on the supposed decline of the major label, because that's what he's trying to say. He's trying to tell them, listen, okay, my father's been in charge. My father's been giving you all a lot of money, but recently things are falling apart. And remember, I told you all a couple of days ago, it may have been yesterday, but I think it was the day before. If you all remember, I was telling you how they were desperate because they were losing money, how they were firing like 40% of the people, and all of this stuff. They didn't give the people any warning and all of that. So they're having all these financial issues. So Elliott wants to get up there and be in charge. Okay, he thinks he can fix things. So his father goes on to say that basically, yeah, that's a very Elliott thing for him to do. In fact, it sounds like something that I would have said when I was his age. I guess according to Elliott's logic, it's a good thing that we've got so many icons as we have, and we consistently attract more. Now then, come to find out, one of the reasons that he didn't bother to mention this woman, Michelle Jubileer, who was the CEO for Capitol Records, well, because first of all, he doesn't really care for her, from what I assessed, and then second is because he was waiting for her to leave. Okay, I think that he knew that eventually she's going to go, and she ended up stepping down because she didn't like how they were doing her. Okay, and so there's a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Everything is not as they're trying to make it seem. They're trying to act like they're so unbothered. We don't have any reason to tell, Kendrick to stop coming for Drake. We're making money off the streams, and all of that is true. But what they're not talking about is the future of the company, because that's what Elliott is talking about. Elliott's talking about the future of the company moving forward. Is this really a good idea? He's probably the one that convinced them. If they actually told Kendrick to stop, he's probably the one that convinced them to do so. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, Perplex said, this is all nefarious. Okay, it's a mess. I know one thing for sure and two things for certain. They have better leave Kendrick alone. We not having it. Okay, exactly. And see, that's the thing, because in my opinion, it kind of seemed like they were trying to blame the stuff on Kendrick about that whole situation at Drake's house. It seemed like they were definitely trying to allude to the fact that Kendrick had something to do with it, because they never said that he didn't. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, and then here's another thing that I thought was strange too. Now, you know, with all the money that Drake has, living in a $100 million mansion, you're not going to tell me that he doesn't have very good security footage. Don't you all find it interesting that they say that they do have surveillance footage of the incidents, but they said that it's grainy? The police didn't give a description of the assailants or anything because they say that the footage, according to reports, they say the footage is really grainy. Why do you have, grainy footage? You don't have top quality surveillance? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. You have a whole $100 million mansion. So that makes no sense to me. I think they do have the footage, and I think they know exactly what happened. I think they know exactly what happened. Ruth, I said they're conjuring up new ways to puppet our people more. Absolutely. You know they're going to always do that. Absolutely. Okay, so let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm scrolling through some of this because it's a lot. There's a few main things that I want to go over. Don't forget to hit the like button, beloved. Okay, so they say we could tell you about our research department, but then we'd have to kill you. Hold on. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, so back in LA after graduating, Grange found earlier traction with songs from Ian Dior, who later hit #1 with his and 24K Golden's emo rap called Mood, and Tekashi 6ix9ine, the rapper and social media fire starter, who in 2018 was sentenced to 2 years in prison after cooperating with the federal prosecutors in a case involving his association with a violent street gang. Now, Grange declines to say whether he's currently in business with Tekashi 6ix9ine. He don't want to talk about that, okay, who crashed back into the headlines. Pay attention. Okay, last month when he was attacked by several people in the South Florida jail. Now, mind you, this information is from like a couple of years ago. So, goes on to say that from the get-go, Grange says the idea for 10K was to use fine-grained data collected online to identify new artists with small but fervent audiences that could be quickly scaled up. Okay, so he's been scouting for the past few years, trying to figure out ways to get more money for the company. He said, we could tell you about our research department, but then we'd have to kill you. Now, the explosion of TikTok at the beginning of the pandemic confirmed what Grange and his co-presidents, Friedman and Talamo, whose influencer management company, Homemade Projects, became a part of 10K last year. They say they already knew by then that the most efficient way to reach coveted Gen Z consumers was through influencers promoting songs in short-form videos. He says, we were doing this before anyone else. This is what Friedman said, recalling their client Jacobs Sartorius' role in breaking Dram's 2016 hip-hop hits Broccoli on the lip sync app Musical.ly. So, hold on, let me scroll down some. Now, here's another thing, too. Elliot Grange says that they have this little joke about him. They call him the Nepo baby. Okay, because they're basically trying to tease him to say that the only reason you have a role anyway is because of nepotism, because your father's here. So he's really trying to prove himself, right? So he's coming up with all these ideas, and he's got this research department out here looking for these new artists like Ice Spice and basically trying to come up with ways to help generate more money, because under his father's watch, lately he feels like it's crumbling. Okay, so does the Nepo baby discourse get me down? This is what he says. He says, no. He says, I try not to think about it, to be honest with you, but I'll take the bait. I understand that because of my name, there's a target on my back. If we do well, it's because of the connections, is what they'll say. And if we don't do well, if we fail, then you could go, well, they're not as good as so-and-so. So he's talking about how they compare him. But we've not done this once or twice in the company, he says. Okay, he says, we've done it a dozen plus times. Our hit rate is really good, and you can't fake in the business. The repeated success should dispel any notion that we've only been successful because of this reason. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Michelle Jubilier, because this is the lady that says, oh, he didn't mention that Capitol was there, because she was there at that meeting to represent Capitol's interest. And then when the person who spoke with him, one of the people who was there also, or one of the people who interviewed him later, was telling her that he didn't say anything about you. And she's like, he didn't. That's effing interesting. But here's why he didn't say anything about her. Because Michelle Jubilier steps down as Capitol Music Chairman CEO. Jubilier's departure has been rumored for several weeks as gossip swirled about the impending layoffs and restructuring. Nonetheless, the news comes after 2 years of solid growth under her leadership and at the company from an essentially flat start. While she had been tipped to take over the company in 2019, Grange instead, now this is Lucian Grange, instead hired former artist partner group executive Jeff Vaughn as president of the label, who then took the Capitol Music Group helm in November of 2020 after longtime chief Steve Barnett retired. Now, he never found his footing and left less than a year later. Now, when Jubilier, that's when she then took over. Under her charge, the company has seen major successes with Sam Smith, whose Unholy was a global hit, and Ice Spice, among others. Now, let me say this. That's another thing that Elliot Grange didn't like. They give her the credit for Ice Spice when he's the one who says he sat down and had dinner with Ice Spice and talked her into doing business with him. So yeah, he doesn't like that, and that's another reason he didn't mention her. Okay, however, sources say that she elected not to continue with the company, okay, with the company's new reporting structure. So prior to joining Capitol, she was an attorney at Sony Music and later at King Homes, Paterno, and Berliner, with a client roster that included Frank Ocean, Pharrell Williams, and MIA. All right, so basically, this dude wants all the power. He wants to be in charge. He wants to be the puppet master pulling all the strings. And he's willing to, from what I've assessed, it looks like he's willing to do just about anything he can do or has to do to get himself there. All right? Looks like he's trying to do whatever he needs to do to get there. And so my whole thing is, Leon said bull. Okay? With that all being said, Leon says exactly. Something has to take the heat off Diddy, and someone has to take his not take the heat off Diddy. You know, it's funny you said that, because I was thinking about that last night. I said, I wonder how Diddy feels now that everybody's not, just talking about him, that something else for once is trendy. Okay, so Lucian will be doing the new freak offs. He's taking Puff's place. Here's the thing. Lucian's been doing the freak offs allegedly. He was with Puffy. Remember, he's the one that was funding them allegedly, according to Rodney Jones's lawsuits. He's the one that's supplying the money and funds and all of that, so Diddy can do what he wants. Okay, but anyway, I wanted you all to hear all of this so you can see how cutthroat this all is. Okay, this dude, Elliot Grange, see, we keep finding out more and more about these people that are in the back, that are behind the scenes, and a lot of these shady goings on. So with that all being said, Diddy I can't read that. That might be a typo. But so anyway, I'm going to show you all an interview, okay, where this guy, what is his name? This guy named Vince Staples, okay, what he had to say about the whole thing with Drake's beef, because he too is an artist with Universal. Okay, so lights up, everyone, please like and share. I'm going to go ahead and put that interview on the screen, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on all of this, because my thing is, they're really, and this is another thing I forgot to tell you guys. Okay, so they actually, UMG, they own Drake's catalog. Okay, at least they own the part of his catalog from 2018. Okay, that predates 2018 because Lil Wayne sold his catalog to them. All right, everything that Drake did under Young Money, basically, that's owned by UMG. All right, and then because Lil Wayne in December of 2020, all right, he sold them his catalog as well as Drake's, Tyga's, and Nicki Minaj's. All right, a pending lawsuit filed by Lil Wayne's manager revealed that Young Money's entire catalog was sold. The entire thing. So I'm sorry. They really have, in my opinion, they really have Drake by the business. All right. They really have Drake by the business. At the end of the day, Kendrick has his own stuff going on. And here's another thing too. You know, at first I was wondering, when I first reported on this beef, I was wondering, why did Drake and Kendrick ever get into a beef? Because if you remember, I told you guys how Drake was fighting with the record label years ago to try to get them to let Kendrick go on tour with him and all of that. And I'm like, so how did they end up? And then they did a song together. And I'm like, how did they end up in this problem? Well, what it is, and this is my opinion, Kendrick doesn't like the fact that Drake is a sellout. Drake is an industry plant, okay? And Drake is a plant and he's a sellout. And it should be obvious to us now, for those of us who didn't know before, it should be very obvious that Drake is a plant, because this is part of the reason, like I told you all days ago, why he's out here promoting Sexy Red. Okay? That's why he would be doing that. And so, because if you all don't know, there is a whole psyop involved in hip hop. All right? Let me just tell you all about that real quick before I go to that video. I wasn't even going to get into all of this, but I'm going to tell you all a little bit about it. Okay? Because a former CIA agent divulged this information. He admitted to it. Here it is right here. Because this rabbit hole goes real deep. Okay, this is way deeper than just Drake and Kendrick. CIA agent admits hip-hop was a psyop. Okay, it's used as a psyop to corrupt the youth and sow division in America. John Homeston, a retired CIA agent, had admitted to a national Russian television show that hip-hop was a psyop that the CIA used in the 80s, and the agency has directed and financed household names of artists. Okay, and some of these artists include Jay-Z, Dr. Drake, allegedly. Now, goes on to say the government at the time spent big money, serious money, on this covert operation designed to corrupt the American youth into nihilists, okay, as well as anti-establishment and anti-American ideologies. And by nihilists, they basically mean a group of young folk who just don't care anything about religion or moral fortitude. They don't care nothing about morals, basically, okay? And then he explained that in a half-an-hour interview, he gave all this information talking about they wanted them to have anti-American ideologies and just to sow seeds of division. And remember how many times I told you all for my day ones that America uses a constant perpetual system of divide and conquer. That's how they keep everybody in check, because everybody's bickering against each other, whilst them, the global elite, and those who work alongside them, they're able to run everybody. Now, famous songs of the iconic hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of war propagandists. Now, I can't substantiate this, but I'm telling you, this is what the former CIA agent said. Said they were scripted by a team of propagandists and psychologists of the CIA. Now, nihilist and anti-establishment lyrics were intended to unleash a wave of cynicism towards authorities, to glamorize the use of narcotics, and entice the youth with revolutionary counter-establishment ideas. Now, the retired CIA agent claims that the entire engineering psyop was extremely successful, particularly with left-leaning young Americans who, according to Homeston, have been completely brainwashed with anti-American messaging. He says, we understood at the time that music was a powerful means of propaganda to reach the youth. This is what the 77-year-old man said. Now, our mission was to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, anti-establishment culture that will create uprisings and further division within society. We even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day. That's Sexy Red. That's why you hear Sexy Red everywhere. Didn't I tell you all that they have some kind of way, they got something going on to where they want these people that are no good, these people that are a detriment to our society, to our community, they want to put these people out there in front of us. Well, this is how they do it. This is how they do it. He said it's a whole psyop. I want you all to pay attention. So with that all being said, this is why Kendrick has beef with Drake. Because he knows that Drake is part of the psyop. He knows that Drake is a whole plant. He knows that Drake is a sellout. And Kendrick isn't. That's why Drake called us all slaves and said Kendrick is rapping like he's an activist and it's just make-believe. Okay? That's what that's all about. Now, goes on to say, we have infiltrated mainstream radio to promote our music or their music and reach millions of people every day. He admitted, visibly proud of the accomplishment. Okay, he must have been sitting there looking with glee because they said he was proud to say that. Now, for many of us in the CIA, infiltrating the 80s the hip hop scene was one of the CIA's most successful experiments of propaganda to date. Now, he said that you could say Frankenstein's monster got up off the table and started goose-stepping. The retired CIA agent who was granted a Russian residence permit in 2011 also claimed that Leor Cohen, commonly known as the tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, said that he was a very good CIA asset. Now, as are many of the household named artists that he signed and promoted, as are many of the signed artists that he signed and promoted. Now, here's the thing. That's the man who signed, didn't he sign NWA? Okay, now when it comes to engineering culture, no one touches Leor Cohen. That's what Homestead admitted. That man is more powerful, just so you know, he's another person that's more powerful than Lucian Grange. All right. Hip-hop artists signed and promoted by Cohen include Slick Rick, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, okay, and Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD, Stetisonic, De La Soul, and A Tribe Called Quest. That's just some from back in the day. He ended up becoming promoting rappers such as Jay-Z, Kanye West, and more recently brought Migos and Young Thug to prominence. Some of these artists were tools of the CIA. Now I want y'all to listen to this. Some of these artists were tools of the CIA. Others are fully signed up assets, according to Homestead, who cited Jay-Z. Now listen to this. Who cited Jay-Z, who openly promotes his satanic beliefs, and the first black billionaire. Dr. Dre, both of them were labeled as CIA assets who are untouchable. So if you wonder why Chris Brown got canceled, if they went in on Chris Brown for that incident when he was 19 with him and Rihanna, but then when we hear Dr. Drake beating on the women and his wife and all of that stuff, nobody says nothing. He gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It says that he's untouchable, and they both have handsomely been rewarded by the elites. I can't make this stuff up. Now, this is all alleged, because this is just what the CIA agent, the former CIA agent, supposedly said. Now, what y'all have to say about that? What do you all have to say about that? I find it all so nefarious. I find it all so nefarious. T of y'all said all of these artists are satanic. No one in the government can touch these folks. Exactly. These folks control the media and entertainment. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Pamela said it makes sense. So with that all being said, I'm telling you, this stuff is a whole lot deeper than some of us think. And John Homestead also warns that the CIA haven't stopped using hip-hop to manipulate America, but they have adjusted their goals. Well, how did they adjust their goals? I'm so glad you asked, because I just told you all that yesterday. Okay, how Hillary Clinton, remember how I told you all that they have a whole hip-hop foreign policy initiative? How they send rappers over to these foreign countries and try to act like, black rappers. They send them over to these foreign countries and have them acting like everything's just so good over here. There's no racial tensions and all of that, and trying to have them feel like they want to live the American dream. This is what they do. They use propaganda and have them thinking that everything's peaches and cream, and no one's thinking about the racism that people that look like me have to endure over here in this country. Now, he goes on to say that they simply adjusted their goals, saying that in the 80s, it was about division, but now it's more about the emasculation of males in society. Didn't I just do a whole thing about that not too long ago? And wouldn't you know it, guess who they're showing when they talk about it? Guess whose picture they have on here when they're discussing it? Young Thugs, the same picture that I, in fact, had. When he had on that dress and that hat that looked like a darn umbrella. There it is right there. There it is right there. Okay? So I just find it all interesting because we can't have anything positive, productive, or beneficial without them finding a way to destroy it or make it benefit them rather than us and be used against us to our detriment. I just want you all to pay attention. Have you noticed that? Because remember when hip hop was all about positivity and speaking, positive things about one another and to one another. And it was all about, telling people to do the right thing. Remember songs like You're Headed for Self-Destruction with Heavy D, MC Light, and all of them. Y'all remember that? All those. I know some of you little young ones don't, but I'm just saying it was about positive things. And now look at what they're talking about in these songs. Let's not forget that I told you how Crazy Bone read that letter and was saying that they had that meeting back in the day. Okay, and then say that they were telling them what to write and what to say. And I just told you all days ago how it's such a catch-22 for them to tell these artists to write about these things, but now they want to use their lyrics against them like they're using them against Young Thug. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. It says the insidious plot to turn out children. The insidious plot to turn our children into a bunch of confused people who have no morals it didn't just happen overnight. The elites have been slowly working on eroding social norms for decades. Remember how I told you that when they do something, they didn't just wake up and do it. They planned stuff for decades. The day ones, y'all know I've been telling y'all that, okay, a couple of years ago, that they plan these things out for decades. That's how they stay on top. That's how they stay ahead and in power and control. Because we're sitting here just going with the flow as everything happens. You understand what I'm saying? But they're making plots and plans decades in advance to how they want things to turn out. And that's why we stay on the bottom, because we don't plan ahead, but they do. Now, goes on to say that they've been working on eroding social norms for decades and forcing the most famous Black men to normalize the sight of men in dresses as part of the agenda. You all remember that I did a whole thing about men wearing dresses, specifically rappers. Okay, a music industry executive who was present at the first meeting between the CIA and the music industry execs has written a confessional letter detailing exactly what happened and went down on that fateful day. All right. Wrote a whole letter about it. Now, some experts openly admit the CIA's promotion of hip-hop nihilism, including the narcotics culture surrounding the scene, pushed United States President Richard Nixon into the war on drugs, a globalist campaign of drug prohibition based on endless foreign military intervention. They say the chaos that we caused in America helped the government justify overseas wars of plunder in Middle America. The country wouldn't be where it is today without hip hop. That's what they say. That's what it says. And of course, the CIA was also responsible for flooding the streets with vast quantities of crack Coca-Cola in the same time frame. Investigative journalist Gary Webb, who I also told you all about. Remember, I did a whole TikTok about him. Gary Webb exposed the story of the decade before the mainstream media went to work on behalf of the elites and tried to distract the masses from the scandal. Tried to distract the masses from the scandal. Isn't that what they always do? Now, he wasn't joking about the mainstream media circling the wagons around the CIA. Take a look at his outrageous New York Times headline. Now, the mainstream media hasn't changed. They're still being employed to shoot down legitimate news stories, like the one about Hunter Biden and others. But the elites were not satisfied with merely corrupting America's youth, sowing division in society, and flooding the streets with crack. They also wanted to enrich themselves even further while separating families and driving much of the country into grinding poverty. The CIA worked in tandem with music industry elites to create a funnel in which young people would be indoctrinated with brainwashing gangster rap music, introduced to a life of crime, and then delivered to the highly profitable private prison system. In order to create this funnel, the CIA introduced music industry owners to the private prison industry. That's why they had that meeting that Crazy Bone was talking about. Okay, please pay attention. You see how this is all adding up? See how this is all adding up? Now, just remember, you heard it here first. Now, once the funnel was in place, the system was a lock. The global elite have been toying with humanity for centuries. And so they go on to talk about this evil agenda and how some things are suppressed from the news and all of that. I'm not going to get into all of that, but I just want you all to pay attention. I just want you all to pay attention. So like I said, this is much bigger than Drake and Kendrick. Okay, it's a whole lot going on behind the scenes that people don't know anything about. Okay, so now I'm going to go to that interview. Likes up, everyone. Tan said this is so diabolical. Yes, it absolutely is. Okay, this wicked world and your life on earth is not a joke and just fun. Right, it's not just fun. People better get it together. All right, so with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, I'm going to play this video right now. Then I have a couple of videos I want to play about Drake.
That shit, bro.
All right, look, get with me after.
You really want to know how I feel about that shit?
Feel?
I want to know.
Yeah.
I think, so I'm signed to Universal, right?
Yeah.
I've been signed to Universal since I was 17. I haven't got a back end. That means when you turn in an album, they give you payment. I haven't got a back end since 2017, 18. So I done been on the same record label for 13 years, so to say. That record label just folded all of its independent labels and subsidiaries into each other, which means how we was kids, you got Rockefeller, you got Def Jam, you got all these things. None of them exist no more. They fired all the heads of the labels, and if they didn't, they turned them into glorified A&Rs. They cut off 50% of the people who work in all these departments. Most of those people is us, people of color that come from hip-hop and R&B and these other things, right? Then you got record labels opening up IPOs. You got record labels destroying their relationships with TikTok, Spotify, things that pay out artists because they want to start their own shit. So then we getting priced out of our contracts. We getting priced out of our imprints. There are no labels, basically, that are incentivized to sign black music, and it's happening in front of our eyes. And while Taylor Swift is fighting for people to be able to have streaming money, niggas is on the internet arguing with each other about some rap shit. So that's how I feel about it, honestly. Neighbors is on the internet.
Language, Vince. Language.
About
Nah, I appreciate keeping it real.
So I think, personally, I think we better than that. I think we deserve better than that because we've been saying for decades that we want people to respect black music and black art and black people. And I think for that to happen, we got to respect ourselves. And they don't make it easy for us, but we got to try to work a little bit harder at that.
Yeah. Hey, who you think winning between Drake and Kendrick?
Okay, that was the question that he initially asked him to why he was giving his response. Who did he think was winning between Drake and Kendrick? So basically, he feels like, we got a bigger fish we need to be frying and other things to be worried about. All right? And then pay attention to how he basically was talking about the greed of the industry and these labels. They're not concerned about what they're giving the artists or what the artists are making. They're concerned about themselves. Okay? So with that all being said, they absolutely didn't have a problem with the rap beef in the beginning because they were making money. All right? That's how that works. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Drake, another one who disappointed us, I think. I want to know y'all's thoughts on Drake because we got 2 albums from him this year.
Can I be completely honest with you guys? I look at Drake as a gay rapper. So now, just hear me out. Hear me out, guys. I know that he's not.
That's a wild way to start off a conversation.
I know that he's not. Imagine Drake as a bisexual man who does, straight music, and there's like an air of gay caution on every track. I feel like honestly, Nevermind was him coming out a little bit more, in his sauciness.
Wait. An air of gay caution.
Yes. Yeah, it's like he's like, I know I'm making this for straight people. Like, ooh, got to give the gays a little ooh like. So there's always what's the new record? The 21. Can you do something for me? Like I see shimmy to that song, and I'm like, oh, it do sound like a little. Like, I want to like flip my ponytails back and forth.
Y'all don't see what they doing to these goddamn rappers. All these rappers just simultaneously coming out the goddamn closet. Now Drake coming out the closet. Drake going on tour with his man, 21 Savage. But before he go on tour, he stopped by the goddamn Chinese place and painted his fingernail paint. Look at this shit. Then when he left the Chinese place in the hood over there, he went over there to Big Booty Quisha and got his goddamn hair done. Look at this. Now see, what I think is, Drake is a part of the agenda. It's an attempt to feminize black men. They don't want the real ones in the game no more. They don't want the real ones because y'all keep going to prison trying to play tough. Y'all reverse. Y'all allergic to free out. They want rappers they could profit from. And the rappers that go this way got less testosterone so they can make their money back. So you can't profit from a famous prisoner. The only ones profits from the goddamn prisoners is the state. Drake is the biggest light-skinned rapper in the world. He's the new millennial Jay-Z. He got the power and the influence to influence these goddamn youngins to feel like the only way I could ever be as big as Drake is if I paint my nails pink and get my goddamn hair slicked to the back. So if they feel like that gonna make them big, they getting pink, purple, and goddamn blonde. Whatever it is, you see what happened to Lil Wop that was signed to goddamn Gucci. He done went all the way transformed. Maybe Drake still like women too. Maybe he just sick. But me personally, I don't know no straight man that gonna paint they goddamn fingernail paint and get their hair twisted back like that with the knockers on the back. You couldn't even pay a real one to do it. I ain't gonna do that. I want a ball. Give me a bald head. But see, it's an attempt to feminize our black men that's real talented but real broke. See, they control you with the money. You gonna do what we want you to do if you want some of that money. If they say bend it over, if they say, sure, what you working with, whatever it is, you gonna do what they say because you want their money and they pay. They want you worshiping the devil and they want you going that way, that Bobby Light shit. That's what they want. Because it's all an attempt for you to stop reproducing kids and keep producing hits for the goddamn labels. As long as they got that goddamn invisible leash on your ass, as long as they see they can control you and manipulate you, they gonna give you all the money you want. Cause guess what? They control your future. Y'all be right here listening to the goddamn Drake if you want to. He with the agenda too. Drake, my dog, I love him, but something wrong with that goddamn pinky purple. They can't make no money off the goddamn NBA young boy keep going to goddamn prison. So he done goddamn put the makeup on, they got the fingernails too. All these rappers is going this way. I ain't got no problem with the people that really go that way. But if you doing it just to get hotter, then you want to jump back over there like Joe Budden did and talking about you like women, something is wrong with that shit, man. Stop straddling the fence. Stay your ass over there with that fuck shit.
Okay, here's something else. All right, Nino Brown is something else. Okay, so at the end of the day, R.G. Taylor said the money ain't worth selling your souls. Exactly, it absolutely isn't. Okay, so with that all being said, we definitely can see there's an agenda and all of that. And I'm just curious to see if any more songs are going to come out. Because remember, I told y'all the other day that Kendrick's friend said that he had a whole lot more coming for Drake, that he wasn't done. But now, you know, that's probably the end of it. I don't know. That could be the end of it because of the shooting or whatever. Okay? That I think, like I said, Audrey had something to do with. I think that he knows. I'm not going to say he had anything to do with it, but I think that Audrey knew or knows exactly what happened. But you know what? Yes, I am going to say I think he had something to do with it. I absolutely think he did. All right, because let's not forget that they were saying there was a mole in the camp. Maybe the guard was the mole, or maybe they thought he was the alleged mole. Who knows? But no matter what, and somebody said in the chat that Bella said that she believes Drake had something to do with it. You know, I don't know if she said that or not, but I do believe that he had something to do with it. I think it's a whole Jussie Smollett playing the victim. Okay, starting a beef, but now you want to play the victim. Now you want to just throw up the white towel and surrender. You want to wave the white flag. You want to just give up because you're losing miserably. Okay, and he didn't have any good response to those allegations that were thrown out there, and especially when, like I said, people started digging up those receipts. And then let's not forget how we caught him in a blatant lie. Remember how he said that was just a story that he put out there, or he just put out fake information for Kendrick to run with when he was talking about that child and all that stuff. And then that information came out from that article from back in 2015 that he had a daughter from a Haitian woman who was 2 years old at the time, which would make her about 11 now because that was like 9 years ago. So I'm just saying, pay attention. Pay attention. Now Drake, yeah, he was losing miserably. Okay, and that's why the people that were trying to cape for him and say, "Oh, that Chris Rich Aaron said he wears a man's purse." The people that are trying to cape for him said that he won. Like, they really made no sense. Y'all remember Kendrick said he has a gambling problem. That Drake has a gambling problem. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Chris says, I think he placed the bet. He may have. He may have. It's no telling what BBL Drizzy was up to. The music industry said you got to get them nails did, and then they'll take you shopping. You got to tell them no. I know, right? Okay. And so I want you all to pay attention. How that young man who was sitting there in that interview and talking about how he's been there for 13 years and all of that, and basically talking about how they don't care about the artists making money. You see, who's the head of them? Lucian Grange. And who is Lucian Grange really good friends with that they go into the bedroom and stay for hours, allegedly? Diddy. So I told you all long ago, Diddy learned the stuff that he's been accused of doing. Who do y'all think he learned it from? The way he did his artists and kept all of their publishing and got all their money, and they ended up broke and all of that and complaining about how they did work and weren't paid for songs and all of that. Where do you think he learned that from? He didn't just come up with that on his own. He learned it from his mentors and the people that he was around. That's how he got to be where he is. That's how he got to become a whole millionaire or billionaire. And then you should ask yourself too, Diddy is, a person who has minimal talent. Minimal talent. So how is it that he's like the person with like the most awards and things in hip hop? How is that even the case? I mean, he doesn't have a song that I can think of that should be at the top of anybody's list. Okay? So how is he the one that's won the most awards? Did he? Make that make sense. Then they gave him the Lifetime Achievement Award and all of that. It's all crazy. Chris says it's all connected. Yes. Okay, Sharon said no talent at all. Exactly. But he's a producer and he's getting all these awards for it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So this is how all that happens. All right. So anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. I won't be on the backup channel today, but I will, however, be on the spiritual channel. For those of you whose emails I have, I'll send you the link once I post it. So enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Soul all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me?